Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Garrett Roberts, and I just wanted to shoot a quick video for you guys, kind of for the newest person in the industry, the newest person who sees the vision as far as getting in the business for themselves, running their own online business, running their own network marketing business, understanding the power of residual income. But one thing I realize with new people, they understand the power of residual income, they just don't understand what's needed to get to that result, right? When I first got started in this industry back in 2012, I had struggled so much in the beginning that I thought about quitting. I thought about, am I retarded? Like, I really sat there sometimes and say, am I retarded? I don't get it. I'm doing exactly what this guy is doing. He's making thousands. I'm making less than hundreds right now. I remember sitting at my desk, banging my head over and over and over again on the desk, punching my computer screens. I don't even have those computers no more because I put them to work like punching bags because I didn't understand why I'm not having the results of the same results that I'm seeing people having, and I'm doing the same thing. I'll tell you why. Because I was new and I didn't build momentum off of my consistency. A lot of people get started in this industry and they forget the whole grind part. They forget the whole work part in network marketing, right? So when I got started in this industry, I was working my butt off. I was so hungry to change my situation, so hungry to change my life. I didn't understand why it wasn't working until I realized it was because I was missing the consistency part. So I struggled from 2012, the end of 2012, going into 2013. I struggled for about 5 to 6 months, making $0, literally $0. I was making no money. I was making just enough money to say I'm broke, right? Now, the thing different with me is I had to make this thing work. I was on a timeline on how much money I had saved up to pay, just to get by, live. So I really was using all that money to say I'm going to make sure everything is taken care of. How much money do I have in my pockets to do anything else besides like eating and nothing? I was literally living off of hot and spices and 2 for 1 Taco Bell. I mean, Jack in the Box tacos at this time. I was living off of that, right? And just to sit there at my computer and say, I'm doing all the right things. Why I'm not having results? It started to kick in. All the people who said no, all the people who said that won't work, all the people said that's a scam, that's a pyramid, all those people over and over. Guess what? When people decline you and people deny you at first, they don't disappear in thin air. They just go over in this big circle of people that are now watching you, right? And when new people get started, they don't know that. They're so into it. They're into it, so deep into it that they don't see what's going on over here and they don't see where they could be at over here. All they see is this right here. I'm speaking to this person, he's saying no. I'm speaking to this person, he's saying no. I'm speaking to this person, he's saying no, right? Then eventually you get a yes. But that person quits because you don't have the leadership, because you're a new person, right? So that's one big thing that I see new people run across in this industry, and it's perfectly normal. Every leader runs through that. Every leader goes through that. I had a guy the other day. He said, "Oh, well, I don't have results yet." Yeah, and neither did any top earner in this industry when they first got started, but they got to the top, right? Because they built their consistency. Consistency. They used that consistency to build momentum. They filled up this bubble of no's, and it don't sound true, and that's not going to work until their bubble pops. You have to pop this bubble over here. This bubble starts off like this. The more no's you get, the more no's you get, the more I'll think about it, the more I don't have the money, the more let me see you make money first until this bubble pops, right? But before it pops, it starts to leak. It starts to leak, right? So now you have one person, he'll pop out. Next thing you know, hey, I see you still doing that thing. Next person, he'll pop out. Hey, are you still involved in that business? Because people's situations always change. Somebody might have a job, they just got hired, or they have money, they just got a tax return. They just, came up on some money or whatever. And when you presented the business to them, it might not have been the best time. So they went in this bubble. But guess what? They ran through the money. They got fired from their job. They went to sleep last night wishing they had a better opportunity. And they remembered this guy from, showing them a business. And they come back to you. But the thing is, what most people miss is the consistency part. They miss the consistency part to even get to that point where the bubble pokes a little hole in the bubble, right? They forget to build the momentum part to keep putting people in that bubble. Then eventually, as you keep grinding, that bubble pops. When I got started, everybody told me no. Till this day, I built teams of tens of thousands all around the world in multiple companies, multiple years. I've been in the top 2% in every company that I've ever been a part of since 2012, but I struggled my first 6 months. That's because I filled my bubble up so fast. I stayed consistent. I grinded so hard to the point where I did finally have my first success. I needed a 5, 6 month break just to recover. I never went that hard before, even till this day. Man, I'm thinking about doing it again. I'm doing it again, right? But when you're doing that, you're still focused on the vision, or you're focused to the next 2 weeks or the next bill. And that's the problem with most new incoming networkers, or even people who've been in for a year or two, wondering why they haven't had any experience. Because you're always thinking to the next bill. You're not thinking, I put my all in. I risk everything to never have to worry about a bill again. I put my all in and risk everything to change my life in the next 180 days, next year. We just ran through a year. Did your life change? If not, do something different. It's the only way it's going to happen. Going to work, coming home, watching TV, scrolling down Facebook, scrolling down Instagram is not going to change your life. It's not going to change your life. You have to do something different. You have to do something different in order to get different results. I know everybody here has heard you do the same thing over and over again, expecting new results. It's called insanity. That's true. It's a fact, right? So when you get started, you have to put it in your mind. What am I going to be doing? What am I doing right now? Is it life changing? Does it have any potential to change my life? If I keep doing what I'm doing right now, I remember when I worked, right? When I had a job, I used to come to work. The first thing I would do I would find out whoever's been at this job for the longest. And if I'm getting paid $9, I would go ask them, hey, how long have you been here? 5 years? Cool. How much are you making? $10.50? $11? And what I would do was I would map out all my payments, trying to say, okay, if I work this and I do this and I do this, I'll have this much around that time, right? But I would try to work so hard. I remember working at a warehouse, and I would be the guy running through the warehouse trying to impress the managers because I'm working so hard, right? I'm working so hard. I'm running, picking up stuff. I'm doing, you got a time limit to do something. I'm trying to beat the time limit just to get a 50-cent raise, thinking that it's going to change my life, right? It doesn't. It won't. If you have a good paying job, cool. If you love it, great. Stay at your job or find a way to use that income to do more, right? But if you have a job and it's barely getting you through the month to the point where you have more month after the money's gone instead of more money after the month's gone, then you have to do something different if that's a problem to you. But if you're comfortable, then that's a problem. You have to get uncomfortable. And so, as I was saying, when people get started in this industry, they come from being working, or they come from being a real estate agent. They come from being a sales agent, a car sales agent. They're so used to, I work, I get paid. I sell a house, I get paid. I sell a car, I get paid. I work 2 weeks, I get paid. As I stated before in the beginning, I worked 5 months as hard as I could, staying up 24/7 on the computer, stuck in a room, and didn't get paid a dime. Didn't get paid nothing. Thought about quitting, right? I spent more money than I made, by far. But 6 months after that, I hit a 6-figure income that changed my life. And I've been doing this for 5 years now, never looked back ever since. And ever since, I've been at the top 2% in every company. because I filled this bubble up so big. I filled this bubble up so deep that it took care of me for the next 4 years. It took care of me until I was done promoting that business, right? So you have to look at it like that. Hold on, guys. You have to look at it the same way, right? You have to look at it the same way and understand that you're going to have to work first. Then the check will catch up to you with the consistency. You got to fill up that bubble first. You can't say, oh, I just got started in a business. I'm going to go show 2 people, 4 people, 5 people, 10 people. If it don't work, it don't work. It's not enough people. It's not enough people. It's not filling up no bubble. I showed every single person I know. I used to stay up on Facebook every single day, just messaging people, building relationships. Hey, how's it going? What are you doing? What are you working on? What is that? What is that? Can I help you with anything? Not even worried about a sale, right? I didn't have results until I stopped worrying about the sale and just went through the process. I went from making nothing to having a 6-figure month in these past 5 years. But just think if I didn't get started. Just think if I didn't grind. Just think if I didn't hustle. Just think if I took those couple of no's and didn't keep pushing. I'd still be broke to this day. I'll still be doing the same thing I was doing to this day because there's not many opportunities out here. I mean, you can start your own business, but it's going to take a lot of money to start your own business. And most businesses fail. Most businesses go out of business in the first 2 years. Most businesses make no money, right? So you have to fill up this bubble. You got to stay consistent, build up your momentum, and understand that it's a process. And you can't just think to your next bill or your next subscription bill. You can't think to your next rent is due, your car payment is due. You have to think and say, I'm going to risk it all, and I'm going to change my life by next year. I'm ready to risk my whole situation to change my life next year. I'm ready to risk my house because this is not my dream house. That's how you have to look at it. If you're paying $500, $600 a month, risk it. Risk it. It'll make you hungrier to know that if I don't go harder, I'm going to be evicted. If I don't go harder, I'm going to be homeless. But you risking it is putting you in a situation where you're aiming for your dream house. You're aiming for that penthouse over just being complacent with the house that you barely getting by in. You have to risk sometimes. And a lot of people are scared to risk. And you can't be scared of the risk in business. Business is not for everybody. Being an entrepreneur is not for everybody. We need people to do the other jobs we have. We need doctors. We need policemen. We need firefighters. We need people that work in the fast food joints. We need people that work at restaurants. We need people that work at the grocery store. But if you're an entrepreneur, this is what you have to go through. This is what you have to go through. If you want to tap into the biggest industry that creates the most success stories ever, the most millionaires ever, this is what you have to go through. And you can't think of it like the last thing you were doing where you was working, getting paid, selling a house, getting paid, selling a car, getting paid, because this is something where you're working until you get paid. And it ain't no telling how long that'll take. For me, it took 5 months, but when I got paid, I was making $8,000 a month. Right? Is it worth it? You gotta understand, is it worth it? I never was making that much money monthly, right? So you have to really ask yourself, is it worth it? What I'm doing today, is there any way that my life can change doing what I'm doing today? Right? People ask me, what type of person do I look for when I'm looking for a new member? I'm looking for that person who went to sleep last night saying, I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. I'm looking for a different way to live life. Those are the people I'm looking for. I don't care. It doesn't matter what business I show them. All they care about is finding something different to do to change their life. Those are the people that I look for. It's somebody who's already sold on that they deserve more. Somebody who's already sold on that they're not getting paid what they're worth. And I show them, look, this is how you can work your ass off and get paid what you're worth. And they're sold soon as they see it. Those are the people I'm looking for. Not people that need convincing to say this is for you, this is for you. I'm looking for the person to say, hey, this worked for him, this worked for her, this worked for him, this worked for me, this could work for you, you in or out. That's what I'm looking for. So you have to understand when you're getting started in business, it's not easy. I hear people say all the time, post on Facebook, oh, this is easy, this is easy. You're lying. You're lying. This is far from easy. You'll work months, months, and months without getting real paid until you fill up that damn bubble and bust it. So fill up that bubble. All the new entrepreneurs, I salute you because you want more out of life. You took that risk to even get started. But I wanted to give this quick tip to you guys to get you prepared of what you have to do to get to those points and get to the levels that you see other people living at. Because a lot of people don't break down the nitty gritty as far as what it takes. I see a lot of entrepreneurs who came up in the last 2 years who were living off of $600, $1,000 a month, now making $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month. And as I watched their process, only thing they did was fill up the damn bubble. They don't realize it because they think they just a beast out of nowhere. No, you're not a beast out of nowhere. You just stay consistent, built your momentum, and filled up the bubble. And that's what every person have to do. The quicker you fill up that bubble, the quicker it'll bust, the quicker it'll spill, and you start getting people to say yes, come back to you and join your business, right? Then you have to up your leadership skills. You have to be consistent, stay consistent. I've got to the point where sometimes I just need breaks because I know the process when it comes down to launching a business. You know, a lot of people are new. You got to make sure you're not listening to new people in the industry, new people who had 1 year of success, right? Like I said, I've been doing this since 2012, been at top 2% ever since. That's not really that long, but it's some time. I've been making a full-time living off of this for 5 years now. 5 years. You know, so I've done multiple launches, right? I've done multiple launches and been at the top every single time. People think I got lucky. It has nothing to do with luck. I know the process of what I have to do. I know I got to fill up that damn bubble, right? And so I'm just giving you guys a key tip on how to build your business, how to get started. Anybody you see having success, don't worry about how they're doing it. I mean, don't worry about what they're doing. Figure out how they're doing it. Look at their pattern. Look at what they're doing to fill up the bubble. Implement that in your business, but you got to remember you got to stay consistent because you're starting after them. So you have to build your momentum, stay consistent, and fill up the bubble. It's Gary Roberts. I'm out. Hope you guys have a blessed day. Build your business to the top. Stay consistent, and you will win.